I was watching Tashika for a little bit, but she's gonna end soon, so I got oops. So I got back on. Are there any OG followers here that used to watch me knock my phone over regularly? And what would actually happen is it was not getting knocked over. I would rest it up against something, and then I would get a message or a notification, and my phone would vibrate and just fall over. Thank you guys for following me that long. I appreciate you all. Protect straight kids? Sure. Straight kids are typically accepted though, so that doesn't tend to be an issue. I know, I really need another one. I keep thinking about like having my kid make me another red flag, and I just forget. Like every time I have one, like Nacho will eat it or something happens, and I just forget about it when I'm not live. But I definitely need another one because it was fun to just kind of sneak that little bitch up in the corner. Especially since a lot of the guests weren't really paying attention, so it was even funnier to red flag them. Should have got some water. Advocate Joe, if you agree, I'm gonna guess by your bio and the fact that you're a team member, you do. I definitely like to start off the lives with opposition. If I have, okay, it was the next bit. All right. If I start with friendlies, then sometimes the lives don't get anywhere, so. All right, let's try this person. Walking around. It's little nails. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Ooh, you are too young. You have to be 18 to go live, and I only want to talk to adults. Michaela, you can hang out in there for a few minutes, see if I can get any opposition in here first. This morning's live was absolutely wild. It was something. And I'm thinking that maybe when Tashika ends, people will come in here. Now only adults, it's always been that way. I've never wanted to talk to minors on this app, ever. Hello? Hello? Okay. Well, all right. So if you don't think that kids should be trans, or if you don't have an understanding of what being transgender is, or if you have a strong opinion against this, please come in. It doesn't have to be strong. You can have a light opinion against this as well. Cam, you have 23 followers. You cannot. I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever your name is. Howard. Doesn't make any sense what you said. Let's tap the screen and share the live, and let's see if we can get these views up a little bit higher. No, some children do need hormones. I do not advocate for all children to have the same health care. But if a child needs Ugh. Needs hormones, they should be able to get them, period. And again, I'm talking about a need, not a want. There's a difference between a need and a want. Oh, according to Michaela, if you send gifts, that'll also get the live going. I will take your gifts. Thank you for the roses, Michaela. You don't need to send high quality. I can't even talk. You don't need to send expensive gifts, just gifts. Gifts can help. No. No what? There are a lot of people chirping and nobody wants to come up. Kids need to be kids and have fun at being kids. Yes, and so do trans kids. Denying trans kids their identities actually can prevent them from having a good quality childhood. So those of you who pretend that they, actually care about kids, you might want to take that into account. This might be a child. Hello?
Hi. How are you doing today, Mel?
All right, what's your age?
18. I was born in 2005.
Okay.
I actually had a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So where I live, the legal drinking age is 21.
Great.
How is it that I can't drink till I'm 21, but when I'm 6, I can choose that I'm a girl?
What? Okay, those things are not even comparable at all. We would be talking about your gender identity, right? And it's not a choice. But when you were a child, did you know you were a boy, Blake? At 6?
When I was 6, I didn't know anything, and I had one friend who...
When you were in first grade and the teacher said boys line up on this side of the room and girls line up on this side of the room, you didn't know where to go?
Oh, no, I knew where to go, but all my friends growing up, they were girls, and so I felt better with the girls, and when I was little, I had put on like makeup and stuff because I thought I felt more comfortable that way. And then the years went by and I realized that I'm a guy. I wasn't meant to do any of that stuff. And I was just feeling that way because my friends were majority girls.
You weren't meant to do any of those things, but you liked doing those things, right?
When I was little. Now I look back on it and I can't believe I did it.
That was irrelevant to your gender identity. And that's just problematic, like patriarchal bullshit to say that boys can't play with makeup.
Right. Do you know that when makeup was created, mostly men wore it?
I did not know that. I know that there are men that wear makeup, and I don't hate on them for it. I think if you're gay, go ahead and be gay.
That's not being gay, babe. That's not being gay.
You can wear makeup and be straight.
Yeah.
I have straight friends that wear makeup. I understand that.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, if you like wearing makeup, it's just your self-expression, and that's completely okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not meant to do anything. Just some people like to wear makeup and some people don't. And it has nothing to do with your gender identity.
Right. I felt like I would be more comfortable in a girl's body.
Okay.
When I was little. And then I got older and realized that wasn't the case.
Okay.
All right.
But see, if I had decided to be trans and transitioned at such a young age, I would have completely destroyed my life. Could I finish, Mel?
No, because you're implying that you can choose to be trans and it's not a choice, right? And that you can just make some kind of permanent decision without any type of medical professionals involved. Like, no.
Yeah, like, Blake, it has to be consistent and persistent, right? So if you realize this is not my gender identity, that wouldn't be consistent.
Yeah, this went on for about 4.5 years.
Did you go to therapy?
No, I've never been to therapy, never had the option.
Okay.
So the therapist would have caught that if you went to therapy.
There's no
This
way
is not
for
your
me
gender
knowing
identity.
because I never went to therapy.
No, I'm saying if you went to therapy, that they would have caught that you aren't actually trans.
Right.
Are they catching that with all the sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt
The way
you.
that we know that with you now is that you're not trans, right?
Right.
So only trans people are trans. You cannot be influenced to be trans. You cannot be like locked into being trans when you're a kid if you're not trans.
I believe that you can 100% be influenced to being trans.
You cannot.
So you don't
Wait,
think that there's
wait.
ever been a kid that thought that it wasn't okay to be straight and they are straight and born as the sex that they were on? I don't want to offend you, so I'm trying to use the proper terms. I'm not very good with proper.
Are you opening candy? What's going on?
Very loud.
Sorry, my cat tore up a piece of paper that I was picking up off the floor.
Oh, okay. But Blake, how was puberty for you?
Awkward.
Okay, did like the things that were happening, did you not want them to happen?
It wasn't like that. It was more of. I felt like it shouldn't have happened the way it did when I was little. I thought that I would have been more comfortable in a girl's body.
Right, you've said this multiple times, and then you said it, you were incorrect, right?
Well, yeah, now that I'm much older than I was, and I understand that that's not the way it was meant to be.
Right, you said that you hung out with girls when you were young.
Yeah, all my friends were girls up until about 3 years ago.
Right, so it sounds like you just wanted to do the things that the other girls that you were with were doing.
So you don't think that that could happen to any kid and they could decide, or they could
No.
decide that they were, sorry, you said it's not a decision. They could think that they were actually meant to be a girl,
They
which
could think that, sure. But that doesn't mean that it's true.
Like, right, Blake, like what, like, was it extremely distressing? Did you not want to look at yourself naked? Did you not want to leave the house? Was it extremely distressing when you were going through puberty?
no, it was at the point where I understood that if I left the house the way that I had been acting, then everyone would have looked at me weird. But this is before everyone was all about all of the
Well, that's still a problematic thing in society, but it sounds to me like you understood that you were a boy, but you liked to express yourself feminine and then recognized that society wasn't really okay with boys.
Right. And if you weren't in extreme distress, you wouldn't have transitioned as a child, even if you had access to gender affirming care, if you didn't experience distress.
Can you tell me exactly what distress is?
What do
Like,
you mean
can you-
exactly with distress?
Like,
It's
can you
just
give me a definition?
I guess like feeling really, really bad.
feeling really, really bad. I didn't
Yeah, I mean, I
feel
don't know.
really,
I
really
mean-
good about.
Distress, like a horrible experience.
Have clinically significant symptoms. Basically, what Michaela's point is, right, is that you, without a gender dysphoria diagnosis, without that distress, there was no type of transitioning that could have happened to you as a child because you have to have that diagnosis.
And people have never been falsely diagnosed with it, because people have been falsely diagnosed with everything. So you don't think that anyone's ever been falsely diagnosed with?
Did I say that?
No, I'm just curious. So you don't think that I could have messed up and led the therapist to believe that I should have been a girl?
It would have been highly unlikely for you to
Oops.
get any sort of hormones or puberty blockers at that age with the experience that you're saying right now. It'd been really highly unlikely.
And especially if you would have said things like you're saying now, like I think I would be more comfortable as a girl, right? That's not, doesn't mean that you think that you are a girl. That's different. You did recognize that you liked to express yourself femininely. That's something that therapists would have talked to you about, that you can still be a boy and express yourself femininely.
Okay, let me ask you a question real quick. When you're trans, what are the other gender options that there are? I know there's male and female, but I'm aware that there's other ones. I'm confused on them though. What
Your
It's not
identity.
really options because you don't choose it, but like there are other gender identities, non-binary, agender, gender fluid, etc.
etc. Meaning I could decide that I felt more comfortable as a toaster.
No, is that
Okay.
is that a
Oh
gender?
my gosh, you're being such bad faith right now, Blake.
Seriously. So
Is
now
a
I don't
toaster
even
a
know
gender?
anything that you said about your childhood, honestly. You know that people aren't fucking toasters.
Like, that's crazy, Blake.
Right, people aren't toasters. If I was meant to be a girl, I would have been born a girl though.
Okay, so see, this is all,
Right.
yeah, this is just a way for you to invalidate trans people. Like, is
I mean,
anything
you're
that
not
you
wrong.
said before,
Actually
like,
true.
actually true, or are you just up here to invalidate trans people?
Yes, when I was little, I had a TikTok account I shouldn't have had that I posted videos where I put on makeup and stuff like that.
A TikTok account? What?
What? I don't know. God, this
What
is
was
why
TikTok created?
this is why we don't believe a lot of the people that come in and say this shit, because people are, guess what, are capable of lying. Absolutely. We don't advocate for anyone to go through a gender affirming care process incorrectly. Like, we want you to follow the WPATH guidelines, make sure you get the proper care, you get therapy, you get everything that you need to have an understanding of your gender identity.
It's a very rigorous process. I don't know why people think, like, children are just walking in there and be like, giving me hormones. Like, that's not what's happening.
Exactly. And that was just gross. Like, let's just not make up shit. Thank you, Mika. Hello? All right, I think it went
Yeah.
away. Hi, Daisy, how old are you?
I'm 20.
All right, you have a poor connection, so I'm not sure. You might end up with a lag.
Oh, okay, sorry.
All right, we'll give it a shot. Let kids be trans.
Yeah, so I've just joined on because obviously I'm not from America and things in Britain are quite different.
Okay.
And my question is that if, when we're young, there's education, etc. If we're taught basic life skills, how does trans come into that? Because I think there's so much procedures that need to happen to become trans that you could lose your childhood through that.
Huh? What? What?
Or how do we educate people about it?
I think what I mean to say is that when you're young, to go through such procedures can be quite difficult
You don't
because that
have to
takes up
go through
most of your
procedures
childhood,
to
I
be
think.
trans.
Because
Yeah, I don't know what you mean
I
by
think to
that.
become fully trans, yes, you do.
Oh, you
No,
don't.
there's no fully trans. If you are trans, you're trans. There's no fully trans.
Yeah, fully trans is harmful to say that. Like,
Sorry,
what
because
is
my
being
understanding
trans?
is trans is.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's that lag I was talking about.
What trans was, and you're answering. So, yeah. What is being trans?
My understanding is that trans means that you're transforming into a next
No.
gender.
No.
So that is a common misconception.
Okay.
That is not what transgender is.
Okay. So trans is what then? Identifying as the different gender.
No, it's not. It's not a different gender, right? Like, it just means that your gender identity developed incongruent from your sex assigned at birth. So people typically, people such as parents, typically will assume. Okay, bye. Will assume a child's gender, and sometimes it's wrong. That's what I wanted to say. Hello?
Can you hear me?
How?
Daisy's box still there?
That was weird. Daisy like disappeared and then came like popped back up. That was very strange.
Hi.
Must be something with the connection. All right,
Hi,
Dad.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's your age?
I'm 40. And, you know, I've been with my husband for 21 years now.
Okay.
And I think, hold on, sorry, I just got up. I look a hot mess. But I think what's important here is people, and when you look through generations and the stigma of religion, I don't think that they think of the soul. And if our soul feels something, has nothing to really do with our body parts. It has to do with how we feel on the inside. And I was born gay. And I think that everything is so much on the physical, but it's not as much on the knowing. And when people say, are you born gay? I was like, were you born straight? Did you question your straightness? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know who you are and what you are. And I think they're missing the fact of supplying an outlet for children that don't have the outlet at home, so they don't take their life or start addiction. And they have the tools in place to keep them as mentally healthy as possible would change things. The suicide rate on people who have gender dysphoria or are bullied in school are tremendous. And until you see your first child laying on a slab, because I worked for New Britain Memorial Funeral Home for 8 years.
Okay, all right. We gotta be careful though. This is like
No, exactly, but I get like it changes the perspective of things because it is that literal for
I
parents.
know, but when we do talk about those things, we do usually give trigger warnings because that is very a graphic way of wording that.
And that shows the importance of it. It is
No,
that graphic.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying
Oh
we
no, I
have
get what you're saying.
to.
No, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am gonna drop you because I have to go. This was not a very long live. Thank you for hanging out, guys. I have to go to my door. Somebody's here. So
Okay, bye.
bye. I may be back later. That was not rude. I had to go. Sorry, guys. Have fun. Go find someone else to watch. I don't know who's live. Baby Bop is still live, but I think she's ending. So I don't know who's live. But anyway, hi Abby. See you guys later. That I said I had to go. I don't know why that's rude, but okay. All right, bye.